disick and like a 19-year-old?
Yes.
A predator?
Ooh, now that's tea. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind season 5 episode 2. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. Somebody in the comments had said that they love that I now do reviews from the couch. However, I'm too far. So I brought the camera a little bit closer. Hopefully this works out for you, okay? Let's jump in. I have a lot of notes, so you're probably gonna see my phone, all right? Lydia is circling back on Milton, who is actually still keen to get to know her.
One of my strongest connection was like he cut off things, and I was not expecting that.
You know, you can tell me about it. Like, I don't mind.
Can I talk to you for real?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think I have been really open-minded. I think like age really got to me.
Do you think you could marry me?
Yeah, I can see it yesterday, not so much today.
Yesterday, not so much. Wow.
To me, this is giving train wreck, okay? She's stuck on a man who's dumped her, and she believes that he didn't give a reason. To me, saying that you have a stronger connection with somebody else is a reason. It's not my fault that you don't accept it as a viable reason, but it's a reason. Furthermore, she admits that she hasn't been vulnerable with Milton. Milton also admits that he hasn't been vulnerable, so I'm just like, so then what are we doing here? Like, if at this point you still feel like at the end of it, it could end an engagement, admitting that you haven't been vulnerable, a little alarming for me. I understand Lydia's craving for love, honestly. Like, I get it, girl, I get it. But because we've seen her be so reactive sometimes, I fear for Milton. If he was to go into this relationship with her, I do feel for him. She is older, she is a little bit reactive. She's just in a different place all around than Milton is. And so I don't know if Milton would have the chops to be able to adequately partner Lydia. That's me putting it nicely, okay? Yeah, I don't know. He also says that the reason why he's been lacking vulnerability is because he, at a young age, had to grow up pretty fast. He felt as if, was it that his mom, what was it about his mom or something? Yeah, home life wasn't that great, but he was very intelligent. He had an associate's degree in high school. Wow, what a life. But yeah, forcing him to grow up so fast is probably the reason why he struggles to let a lot of people in, because he had to do things on his own. He had to fend for himself a lot of the time. So he's opening up, she's opening up, but is it too little too late? Personally, I would say yeah. In the previous video, I had asked for Taylor to ask more questions. Now that she's doing so, JP's getting very emotional.
What do you want to know?
I guess tell me more about your childhood.
Growing up, my mom was like a really angry person. She wasn't as bad towards me, but she would take out her anger on my sisters. But when she would leave, I would go in there and just try to comfort them.
Can't imagine that. You were very strong. Very good brother.
JP says that growing up watching his mom basically be abusive. Yeah, she was abusive to the kids, most specifically his sisters, was very jarring for him. And so it clearly still affects him emotionally to this day, even though he says that he loves his mom now, they don't have any issues. I wonder if it stemmed from having mental health issues. And I wonder how that affects how he moves in day-to-day life. It is something that still affects him emotionally, but I wonder if that shaped his worldview in any kind of way, and if he's able to articulate that to the person that he's going to be with. Guys, to the all-American people, I know y'all are not going to like what I have to say, the American flag. Why? I get being patriotic, but the American flag in the pods that you can't even see? I don't know. To me, big side eye. Aaliyah is stuck on the fact that she felt Uche was being too judgmental on her past.
If someone was to tell you that news, you would be taken aback. And like, sometimes you just need time to step away.
He cannot get arrogant. He cannot get cocky. He cannot be superior for you. He knows better. His past doesn't define who you are.
That's right.
So here's the thing. There's been some discourse in the comments below. Some people are like, he was doing too much. Some people are saying he didn't do enough. I think that he could have handled it better But at the end of the day, if you are saying that your deal breaker is dishonesty, I'm going to question you when in a pretty recent relationship, you were quite dishonest. And a lot of people want to make it seem as if cheating is like a one-off thing. I'm sorry, a lot of cheating is premeditated. So you were lying for quite a bit. And then after the cheating, you still lied. And then after a relationship, you continued to not fess up to what happened because you didn't want to ruin his life or whatever. And who knows when he's finding out. Maybe he's finding out while watching the show, and maybe he's finding out after the filming of Love is Blind. Point of the matter is, you claim that this is a deal breaker for you. However, you're not holding yourself to that same standard, it seems, right? Then we can flip it and say, you know, if I was to be with somebody in partnership, I would want to feel like I am a partner rather than I'm being parented. And Aaliyah does tell Uche, like, listen, I don't want to feel as if I'm being condemned by the person who's supposed to be my ride or die. And he does admit that, you know, he could have handled it better. He says if he expects honesty from his partner, he needs to be able to curate a safe space for them to be honest with him. So yes, I do agree. They have patched things up and all that, but yeah, it definitely was giving like stern father vibes. I don't know how long I'd be able to deal with that. And also Aaliyah, you know, people are calling her out for the lack of tears. The lack of tears didn't really bother me that much, but we're gonna put a note and then maybe address it later if it comes up again. Izzy's true colors are starting to show. If you watch my first impressions video, I was not feeling Izzy. His connection with Stacy is very clearly shallow.
You're thinking about me naked and you've never even met me.
Such a fucking hot voice. It was crazy because like, why do you think I'm so intrigued? It gets confusing because like you're not vulnerable.
It's not necessarily that I'm bad at being vulnerable. I just don't want you to ever like compare me to maybe some other girls and how easy it is for them to share.
There's a lot going on with these two. Okay, this man basically is picturing this imaginary woman naked. You don't even know what she's looked like and you're already picturing her naked, and that's your like draw to her. Oh, you just sound like you have a sexy voice. I've been picturing you this way since the first time we met. I would be concerned if I was Stacy. However, she doesn't seem to be concerned. He also admits that compared to the other women, Stacy is not vulnerable. Then she goes on to admit that yes, in fact, she is emotionally constipated. She struggles to be vulnerable. However, she feels like fun is the priority and she wants to be able to have fun with her life partner. Yes, you should. But considering the fact that we're trying to be life partners, I need to know your life. We need to get to the nitty gritty. The fun is great and all, but who are you as a person? And can I hitch my wagon to yours, sweetie pie? Okay? So listen, if you did not want to be vulnerable, knowing that you struggle with it, this shouldn't have been the process that you got into. And Izzy, being stuck on the physical stuff, which is what we saw from the first impressions video, should know if I'm trying to get married, if I'm trying to not just have a fiance like I have and that didn't work out, I need to get deeper. And I need to see that when somebody is not getting deep with me, I need to go somewhere else. Which now I'm just clocking because then Johnny got deep with him and he was like, oh, that's too deep. Yeah, Izzy and Stacy, I don't want to hear about these complaints down the road. I don't want to hear the fact that your connection is surface level because you've both acknowledged that it is and you're still proceeding with it anyways. So Chris has been opening up to Johnny. However, I don't know, something about this connection I wasn't really buying. And then Johnny said that she had a crush on Izzy anyway. So I'm like, okay, she's obviously not reciprocating the feelings that he's reciprocating. So then Izzy opens up about being raised Jehovah's Witness and how traumatic that was for him. Listen, I thought being Adventist was tough. Jehovah's Witness? That was a lot.
We never had any family traditions or anything like that. We never celebrated any holidays. You're not even allowed to be in competitive sports. So I used to have to hide that I played baseball. I remember like through grade school, I would either have to get picked up early from school or sit in a classroom by myself and like watch a movie.
There's a lot going on with this couple too. So he basically is like, listen, I don't even identify with being a Jehovah's Witness anymore whatsoever. Don't want no parts of that at all. He also earlier explained how he had found that he actually had more family members and finding out who his real dad was. And all kinds of stuff. So imagine having that complex of like, oh, I'm being raised in this family and I feel like it's so tough and it's so strict or whatever. Then you learn later in life, I actually do have more family members and I could have had a different reality. And then now you want to attach yourself to somebody else's family because you don't want to be a part of your family anymore. Yeah, this is a lot. Johnny then goes to say that she has feelings for him, but logically, Izzy would not be the person that she needs to pick. So then what are we doing? These people don't make sense. So Stacy acknowledges that she can't be vulnerable. She just wants to have fun or whatever. Izzy's like, oh, well, that's okay. I still like you. Johnny acknowledges, Izzy probably isn't the person that I should go for when it comes to logic, but I'm going to go for it anyways. Are you people dense? What is going on? These people are not marriage minded. They can't be. So now Johnny has to turn around and tell Chris that he's not the one.
I see how everything lines up with you. Emotionally, I have a stronger connection to someone else.
And I think you really, truly are an amazing and wonderful person. You don't have to say sorry. It's okay.
I'm just sorry.
Johnny was the person that I really thought I was going to start a life with.
I have to give Chris his props. I felt like he handled it so well. He didn't spiral. He didn't call her out her name. He didn't make her feel bad for not choosing him. He was just like, I respect your journey. It hurts, but that's life, and I'm gonna move on. Love that for him. Now, Miss Johnny. Johnny has made a mistake because she feels like the safe option was Chris. And her passionate option, let's just say the person who, really gets her going, is actually Izzy. So now she's opening up to Izzy. This is the part where she opens up, right? Yes. So she opens up about having an ex-boyfriend who was abusing drugs. And then after she left that relationship, she got married. And in that marriage, the ex-boyfriend passed away. And then she realized that that was actually the love of her life. And she's never loved anybody like she's loved the person who passed.
It was 7 years ago now. It's something I carry with me. So that is why I'm here. Probably a walking red flag.
I didn't know any of this.
I know. You have your issues. I have mine.
Do you feel like anyone could ever fill that role?
Yeah, I definitely think I'm capable of being in love again.
Now, Johnny. Yeah, she's like, if you hear my past, you'll know that I'm a walking red flag. And you are. You mean to tell me okay, so obviously the person having, substance addiction, can we blame her? I don't think that we can. That's sad. That's unfortunate. Okay. But you acknowledge that you had loved that person and that getting into the next relationship was a rebound and you probably shouldn't have done it. However, you proceeded to marry him anyways, knowing you did not love him. Maybe she loved him, but definitely he wasn't the love of her. Like, she sounds like those guys who, I feel like a lot of men, more men should probably admit this, even though I could understand why they wouldn't want to. They don't want to blow up their spot like that. A lot of men have that one that got away and they end up just marrying the person who made the most sense at that time of their life. But if you ask them, are they the love of your life? The answer is probably no. So that's what happened with Johnny. She had the love of her life. However, that relationship didn't work out due to substance abuse. She married somebody else. The ex passed away, and now she's grieving the ex because that is the true love of her life. And now she has the audacity to look at Izzy and be confused why he's taken aback by this information. Sweetheart, that's overwhelming. You just admitted that you headed into marriage with somebody knowing full well he probably shouldn't be the one that you marry. And now here you are in a process, a very expedited process that ends in marriage. Have you resolved your feelings for that ex who passed away? That's traumatic. I think that'll stick with somebody, if not forever, for a very long time. So yeah, I would be concerned too. And then I'm also looking at Izzy like, okay, you just said that you appreciate when a woman can get deep, and here she is getting deep with you, and you're now getting cold feet. Granted, I understand where the cold feet are coming from, but it's like, so what do you want? Do you want the surface or do you want the deep? Because it seems like you're not feeling satisfied by either one. I will say it's a good thing that Johnny is being this transparent about her history, because you'd rather hear about this before marriage than after marriage. But yeah, it's looking like a train wreck, Johnny. You do have to understand that this is a lot for somebody to digest. And yeah. So now she's like kind of having regrets for not picking her safe option, being Chris. And she's also saying that if Izzy goes with Stacy, that's the wrong decision.
Chris seems to care more than Izzy at this point. It's either he chooses me or he doesn't. I feel like if he chooses Stacy, he's gonna regret it.
And he might.
He's not gonna be happy with her. I feel like if he leaves here without me, eventually he'll realize.
Yeah.
He fucked up.
She had just finished saying to Izzy, I will understand if I'm not the person for you. So now why are you throwing a fit at the fact that if he chooses Stacy, it's the wrong choice, sweetheart? The women this season, they are taking the cake for being unhinged. It's a little alarming. We had Miriam in the first episode. We didn't even get to hear anything from the priest, guys. I wanted to hear from the priest woman, but we didn't get to see the priest woman. That's fine, whatever. Miriam is a little bit cagey. Aaliyah is a liar. Allegedly. Johnny might have an emotional dumping issue. I don't know. She concerns me. Then you got, what's her name? The Puerto Rican. What is her name? Linda. That seems like a train wreck. The women this season, I am concerned. A concern of mine is also Taylor. So Taylor, this whole process has basically been saying that she has no expectations on what the person who she gets engaged to looks like physically until she has a dream that looks nothing like her fiance.
Guy in my dream had like blonde hair and he had like tan skin and like really white teeth.
I just can't wait to finally see her. She's my sugar.
Now, girl, why would you set yourself up for heartbreak like that? Your fiance looks nothing like that man. He's not blonde. He's not tan. He's not whatever else that she said. This, it's looking like a disaster. It's looking like a disaster. I don't know if she would be attracted to him. I don't know. He reminds me of, what's that guy from a few episodes, but he's with Colleen. The blink twice guy, the scary guy. He reminds me of him. Not as intense as that guy was, but kind of the same archetype going on. And I feel, just a little inkling of me feels as if JP could have some similar tendencies. This is me reaching, but yeah, I don't know. I get an inkling of that. If that comes to be true, well, I told y'all. And if it doesn't come to be true, great. That just means he and Taylor are going to have a great relationship. Hopefully. We'll see. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.